Secrets Academy and the first Caribbean Authorpreneur Summit around her book, Authorpreneur Secrets. Write fast, publish affordably, and generate lasting income. As an Amazon best-selling author of 21 books, she has coached several Caribbean authors to become Amazon best-selling authors. Her mission is to raise up 10,000 winning Caribbean entrepreneurs by 2030, to ensure fewer books die in the minds of their authors, that more manuscripts become published legacies, and precious lives are transformed with the turn of every page.
Have you ever considered creating a coaching, counseling, or consulting program around your book? And this one is especially geared towards nonfiction authors, because after the book launch, this is something you could do to increase your book sales. Welcome to Authorpreneur Secrets Live Masterclass. My name is C. Ruth Taylor. I'm the founder of the Authorpreneur Secrets Academy, and this masterclass is based on this book, Authorpreneur Secrets. Write fast, publish cost effectively, and generate lasting income. So I'm actually showing you 15 ways that you can use to continue to sell more books after the book launch, because many times, especially in the Caribbean, all the focus is on the book launch. And then after the book launch, many times authors don't have any ideas how they're going to continue with their book sales, what they're going to do to ensure that sales continues. So I'm sharing some of those strategies, and it's part of the series. It should have been a 15-week series, but I've missed a couple of weeks. And so I am doubling up, and sharing today would be strategies 8 through to 10. And then we're just going to have 2 more weeks, and I'm going to reserve my favorite way to ensure that my books continue to sell for the last week. And we should be done with this series before Christmas. Before I get into today's topic, I am going to do a recap of the strategies shared in case persons missed out. This is your first time, because we have some new subscribers to the channel. And I'm going to also make an announcement in terms of what's going to happen for 2025 with the Authorpreneur Secrets Live Master Class. So I hope I don't forget. Stay until the end, and I will let you know what that is. So if you want to catch up on all the teachings before, and you're looking for a channel to grow as an author, aspiring author, or book publisher, the Authorpreneur Secrets channel is the place for you. Also, if you want to build a publishing business, because all of this is part of the efforts to raise up 10,000 Caribbean entrepreneurs by 2030. So that would be more income for authors, more income for creatives, and it's author businesses, and we're trying to create sustainable income with books. And I'm teaching you how you can make a living with your book beyond book sales in general. And so this evening is going to be about coaching, consulting, and what's the third one? Coaching, consulting, or counseling, and how those can help you to sell more books. So stay tuned. All right. Don't forget. Friend. All right. So let me go to my handy PowerPoint just to do a quick recap. And we don't want to go beyond 30 minutes, even though I'm putting all 3 together. All right. So let me share that. All right, so 15 secrets to keep your book selling after the book launch. Consider online or in-person events. So books and events really work. So your book launch was an actual event, whether you did that online or offline, that was an event that brought people together. You you can have other book launches or similar type events, webinars, seminars, conferences. You can be creative with it. Create some event around your book that people will show up. All right. Then courses. You could turn your book into a course depending on the nature of the book. Most times these work with nonfiction, but you can do it with fiction too. I remember in one of my doctoral courses, we actually had a business book that was a novel that we had to read and we had to write a review. So you can create your own courses or make a book part of somebody else's course. Hi, Daphne, welcome. I, I'm happy that you're joining. The third one is that you could consider hosting or appearing on podcasts. Remember, podcasts sell books. All right. So if you can appear on as many podcasts as possible, so you can go back and check out that episode when we shared that. The next one is consider becoming a speaker. This is natural for especially many nonfiction authors, but even if you're not a nonfiction author, if you write fiction and you're not afraid to speak, because speaking is one of the top three fears that people have, then each time you speak, you can speak from a topic of your book and it will sell. For example, I had an author just last month, he published his book and he's mostly been speaking about his topic. And within less than a month, at the time when we spoke, he sold almost 500. No, he sold 500 copies of his books. And he was speaking on the topic of his book. And remember, the average author sells what? Um, Average book, 300 to 1,000 is lifetime. And it's less than a month. And he sold 500 copies. So his aim is to sell 1,000 by Christmas. And that's really good. And all he's doing is speaking on the topic of his book. All right. Consider content creation and multiple book formats. That's the last one I shared. That means you can take the book and put it in multiple formats. You can create videos with it. If you only have the ebook and the print book in paperback format, you can create a hardcover. You could move from that to translations. You could use social media, take the content and turn it into different things. So multiple book format, do content creation. You can do so many things online with the book in different formats. And today we're talking about the coaching, counseling, or consulting. All right. So that's where we are at. And next week, God willing, I'll be sharing 3 others and then save the last 2, my favorite, for the end. All right. So I'm holding in my hand this book called Keys to Win at Life. Because I'm teaching, I am, in a sense, promoting the book, but that's not the purpose for bringing out this book. This book, my friend, Bishop Dr. Carla Dunbar, before she was bishop, had this book in her counseling office, right? So she asked me to create a set of questions that would go with the book. And she had a counseling office and a bookshop. And so she asked me to make my books available. She had this one because this is Keys to Win at Life, 100 Proven Ways to Handle Life's Challenges. So she had this book and she had another book for me. I think she had my first 3 set of books, but I know she had this one and Design to Win Roadmap. So there's a young lady named Christy. She gave me permission to share her testimony, and it's in one of my books. I was trying to find which one, but I don't remember. So she had this as part of her counseling program. And there's a young lady named Christy who got this book and she read it. It's not necessarily a Christian-based book, but I share my faith in it. And it just has some success principles and simple things that can make your life more effective. But she included this as part of her counseling program. Now, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a trained counselor, but she included my book, and my book was sold. Christy testified that having read this book, she ended up giving her heart to the Lord, and she started a habit of reading, because reading is one of the habits of successful people. And the book sold. So, what I'm saying is not just based on theories, based on facts. So, you can either create, if you're already a counselor and you want to counsel, you could create a book around your counseling program, or you can find other books that can be part of it. And as a smart author, if you have a book that lends itself to counseling, you can partner with somebody who is a counselor and then have that book, because books are part of what they call bibliotherapy. So when you write certain books with inspiration, it helps, right? And so she had this book in her office, recommended it to her client, and my book was selling. So that's one way that you can use that. So if it's a book on marriage, if it's a book on different topics, if it is even motivational or inspirational. In fact, what Dr. Dunbar has done for her marriage programs, she writes books to serve her program. So she specializes in relationship, marriage and relationship. So I think her tagline is reclaiming marriages or transforming lives one marriage at a time. So she wrote a couples devotional, and she has a course around that, and it is part of what she delivers. She has another book, let me promote. She has another book called Sexscription. Um, it's not porn, it's educational, and she makes it part of her counseling program. So with the counseling, she has a set of books. In fact, outside of counseling, there, if like for churches too, this is something that there are some churches that have certain set of books that when new believers get saved, they give it to them. If, for example, I have an author coming out with a book called An Affair with Grief, I would encourage her to partner with churches, because pastors always have to be burying the dead, counseling family members, and there are grief counselors. And so her book, she can partner with them, but because she's also a counselor, she can use it as part of her program. So I know, Daphne, you're a counselor, trade counselor, and this can be part of what you do, and it can be unofficial. Like I say, if you don't have an official counseling program, but understand that books are part of that scheme, and it can be done. So I never expected that this book would find its way into a counselor's office, although it was endorsed by a couple of counselors, because Dr. Donovan Thomas and his wife, they do counseling, and Dr. Hyacinth Peart, who endorsed it, was also a counselor. But it wasn't that I even went and say, can you make my book part of it? But you can be proactive. Since I'm sharing now and telling you, you can be proactive. The coaching, well, long before I started publishing, in fact, I want to give a shout out to Bishop Dr. Carla Dunbar, because my first set of publishing clients were as a result of people seeing my books in her office. So Dr. Delana Palmer, big up Dr. Palmer, he went to her office and he saw the first edition of this book, Designed to Win Roadmap. And he said, I didn't know that Kamika Ruth is a publisher. And he contacted me, and I was instrumental in publishing, I think, 2 of his books. And then he recommended other folks. So you see what is happening there? It can lead to business. But back to this book, or this book series, because I have this one is for persons maybe who want to reinvent, 40 years and older. Then I have another one for a different age group. But before I started offering publishing services, what I used to do to make a living as an author and to sell books, I had a design to win coaching program, and I had it at different levels. I had a basic program that was about 100 US, and I had an advanced program that was about 300 US dollars. And I used the book as part of the coaching. Now I love personal development. My and I teach it. So I didn't go and get an actual personal development coaching certificate. I love personal development. I have been teaching it. I'm a career certified career coach, and some of the principles are similar. So I used the book and created a coaching program. And the idea behind a coaching program also started with my first book. There were people who bought my first book, Heartache Queen Unshackled, and they wanted something more with me. And I didn't have anything to offer. And so people kept asking me, do you do counseling? Do you do coaching? And I didn't have an office. I would have to meet at other people's offices to meet with them. So after the book launch, I never had that kind of plan. I just wanted to just speak and sell my books. But the readers themselves wanted something more. So what I did, I created a coaching program around this book. In fact, this book and the other two in the series. In fact, Daphne, you are part of a group coaching program this year with this, where persons had to read it. So what I'm saying is that you can make your book a part of a coaching program. It can be non-fiction. It can also be fiction, because you can make the thing required reading, right? And so I want to encourage you to do that. And again, if you don't want to create a coaching program, who has a coaching program that your book could be a part of? Remember, all the strategies I'm sharing, it could be that you either do it yourself or you partner with somebody doing it. And that worked for me. So you automatically sell the book because it's part of the program. So every coaching program I have, there's a text that go with it. Whether you have to read just a part of the book, I normally give them the ebook as part of the package, and then I recommend that if you want print, you can go and buy it. The final one is consultancy. It's the same principle behind it. So if you're an expert in a particular subject, like I do publishing consultation. So I started off offering publishing consultation services, and I would recommend to them, all right, at that time I wasn't publishing, and I would say, need more help. I have a book. I can recommend a book that will outline the steps to publish and things like that. And so you can take your book and make it reference material for your consultancy business or program. If whatever the subject is, if you're a business consultant, whatever it is, if you have a book, that can be supplementary to that. And so beyond the book launch, these are 3 excellent ideas that are worth executing, whether it is that you create your own programs or you partner with somebody doing it. And that's what, 19 minutes? And I got through it. So are there any questions in terms of those topics, how best to do it? In terms of an action plan going forward, how you could, if you have questions or comments, put them in the chat, or put them on the video below on YouTube, and I will respond to them. So those are 3 amazing ways that you can ensure that your book continues to sell. The Thomases, Dr. Donovan Thomas and Dr. Faith Thomas, their book, when they're having their annual suicide prevention conference each year, well, at least when I attended 2, and the book Confronting Teen Suicide, they would give away these books. Of course, these books would have been sponsored by a company. And each year that keeps the book going. And so, what I'm talking to you about are practical ways that I'm seeing authors do it. So, you can consider this. Thanks, Daphne. Okay, so two announcements coming in 2025. I'm not just only going to be doing Entrepreneur Secrets live um, virtually. I'm going to take the Entrepreneur Secrets live masterclass to in-person events um, to you. So you're actually going to see me. I'll do a presentation and you can ask questions. So I want to offer a free masterclass to churches, schools, or nonprofit organizations, if you fall into that category. And if we have at minimum 10 persons who will be guaranteed to be at the presentation, I'll do a free master class. And that will be about how to write fast, because I can teach you how to write a book in 24 hours or 30 days. I can teach you how to publish cost effective. So you want to know how to publish and you don't have the time, you don't want to read this book and you want to hear it. I can teach that, and how to create sustainable income with your books. So come 2025, I'm going to do up a flyer on all of those things, and you'll have an opportunity to meet me. This is primarily, though, in Kingston. Or if I have to go out of town, you'll have to cover the transport to go out of town. So Kingston, or within Kingston and the corporate area, it's completely free. You don't have to even cover transportation costs. But if I have to go to other parishes to present in person at your church, then, or school, or nonprofit organization, about how you can write a book, publish it cost effectively, and use it to generate sustainable income for yourself or your organization, I will be willing to present a free masterclass on that in person. At least 10 people need to be present for me to do that. And then you can actually get this book on discount. If you want this book or any of my books, this book, Penny to Win It, it's tiny. It's really will convince you of why you need to write, and it has finance teaching in there as well, and it has 30 different ways that you can. So this book has 15 different ways to monetize your book. This one has 30. And so that's available. So that's a big announcement. Entrepreneur Secrets Live will be coming to an organization that you're a part of in 2025. If you invite me and have at least 10 persons, you can cover the transportation costs if you're outside of Kingston and the corporate area. Or maybe you want to fly me overseas. I'm willing to come and share in your organization, share these free master classes if you cover the transportation cost. All right, so you can contact me for that. So you can reach me at Ruth Taylor at entrepreneursecrets.com or entrepreneursecrets@gmail. I should type that out so that you can see. So if you're interested in that, let me just put that contact information there so that you can reach me. So if you're interested, you can email me at entrepreneursecrets@gmail.com or Ruth at entrepreneursecrets.com. Easy to remember, name of the channel and everything. And finally, we're having the Caribbean Entrepreneur Summit, January 24 to 2025, and it's free. We have one of the biggest marketing persons in the industry. We have some amazing Caribbean authors, And we're going to talk about marketing, no holds barred. So if you're struggling with book marketing, you want, whether you just want to sell books or you want to be an entrepreneur, that is books plus something, start a business, create another revenue stream beyond selling your book, this is the conference to be. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And it will be on this YouTube channel. And so I invite you to save the date and join us. So that's it. We have 2 more weeks to go in the series, and I look forward to continuing the teaching. And remember, if you want me to come in person to your church, your school, your organization, and teach you how to write, how to publish, or create sustainable income with your book, if you want a live Entrepreneur Secrets Masterclass, I'm available. Remember, of making many books, there is no end. So go pen it to win it and dominate entrepreneurship. Tap on now until next time. Thanks for joining, Daphne. Bye.